Hi, I'm Mateo. 5 years ago, I had what most would call the perfect life. Successful engineering career, beautiful home in the suburbs, and Elena, my college sweetheart turned wife of 7 years. We were that couple everyone envied, at least on the surface. Mateo, are you going to be working late again tonight? Elena asked one morning, stirring her coffee with unusual intensity. The Anderson project deadline got moved up. Sorry, but I need to finish these designs, I replied, noticing how she barely looked up. Third time this week. Whatever. Her tone had an edge I'd grown accustomed to ignoring. Everything okay? You've seemed distant lately. I'm fine. Just tired of eating dinner alone, she said, checking her phone for the fifth time in as many minutes. Who keeps texting you this early? I asked casually. Elena's head snapped up. Just work stuff. Why? Are you checking up on me now? Whoa, just making conversation. When did that become a crime? Sorry, I'm just stressed about this new client, she said, softening slightly. Jake's been helping me manage everything. Jake? The new marketing guy? He's the director now, actually. He's been really supportive with this account. You've been mentioning Jake a lot lately, I said, trying to keep my tone neutral. Have I? I hadn't noticed, Elena replied, suddenly very interested in her toast. He's just been instrumental with this project. Maybe I should meet him sometime. Put a face to the name. Elena's laugh sounded forced. Oh, you'd be bored to tears. All we talk about is marketing strategies and client demographics. Still, it might be nice to know who's keeping my wife at the office so late. Her eyes flashed. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just making conversation, remember? Well, it sounds like accusations, not conversation, she snapped, grabbing her purse. I have an early meeting. Don't wait up tonight. My friend Carlos called later that day during my lunch break. Hey man, got a minute? We need to talk, he said, his usually upbeat voice unnaturally serious. Sure, what's up? Not over the phone. Can you meet me at Riverside Park after work? Carlos, I've got a deadline. Trust me, Mateo. You need to hear this in person. Something in his voice made my stomach drop. I'll be there at 6. When I arrived, Carlos was pacing near the fountain, looking like he hadn't slept. Thanks for coming. Look, there's no easy way to say this, he began, running a hand through his hair. I saw Elena yesterday, at the Westside Hotel, with someone. I felt my throat tighten. What do you mean, with someone? With Jake Hamilton, her marketing director. They were intimate, Mateo. Holding hands, kissing in the lobby. They went upstairs together. That's impossible. She was at a client dinner. I'm sorry, brother. I took pictures. I didn't want to believe it either. He showed me his phone. There they were. Elena and a tall, well-dressed man I recognized from her company holiday party, locked in an embrace that left no room for misinterpretation. How long have you known? I asked, my voice hollow. This was the first time I saw them, but Sophia mentioned seeing them at Riviera Restaurant last month. She thought maybe it was a work thing, but now... My sister knew too? The betrayal deepened. She wasn't sure, Mateo. That's why she didn't say anything. I sat heavily on a bench, the world tilting beneath me. She's been working late 3 nights a week for months now. What are you going to do? Carlos asked. I looked up at him, something cold and resolute forming inside me. First, I'm going to find out exactly how deep this goes. Then, I'm going to disappear. The next morning, I called in sick to work for the first time in 5 years. Elena had already left for her early meeting, so I had the house to myself. My first call was to my sister. Mateo? Aren't you supposed to be at work? Sophia answered, surprised. Why didn't you tell me about Elena and Jake? I asked without preamble. A long pause. Carlos told you. Why didn't you tell me? I wasn't sure what I saw, Mateo. They were having dinner. It could have been professional. Were they holding hands across the table? Were they laughing intimately? Did you see the way they looked at each other? Yes, to all three, she admitted quietly. I'm so sorry. I should have said something. I need your help now. Do you still have that friend who works at the phone company? Marcus? Yeah, why? I need phone records. Can you call him? Mateo, are you sure about this? Maybe you should just confront her. Not yet. I need evidence first. Please, Sophia. Okay, I'll call him now. By afternoon, I was sitting in Marcus's cluttered office as he pulled up Elena's call logs. Daily calls to the same number for the past 8 months, he said, pointing to the screen. Sometimes multiple times a day. Lots of late-night calls, too. Can you get the text messages? I asked. Marcus shifted uncomfortably. That's pushing into illegal territory, man. I understand. The call logs are enough, thank you. My next stop was Jake's apartment building where I bribed the doorman $100 for information. "Oh yeah, the missus comes by at least twice a week," he confirmed. "Always leaves before midnight though, very discreet, your wife." "How long has this been happening?" "Since last summer for sure, maybe longer." I thanked him and left, calling Carlos as I walked to my car. "I need to meet with Patrick," I told him. "Your lawyer? That's serious already?" "It's been going on for at least 8 months, Carlos. I'm done." 2 hours later, I sat in Patrick's office discussing my options. "Given what you've found, you have grounds for an at-fault divorce," he explained. "But Michigan is a no-fault state, so proving adultery won't necessarily get you more in the settlement. I don't care about money, I just want out clean and quick." "There's another option," Patrick leaned forward. "You mentioned wanting to disappear. I need a fresh start, somewhere she can't find me. I have contacts who can help with that. New identity, new state, clean break. It's not illegal if you're not evading criminal charges or debt." "Will it hold up if she tries to find me?" "With what I'm thinking, absolutely. But Mateo, this is extreme. Have you considered just filing for divorce like normal people? After what she's done, the lies, the betrayal? No. I want her to feel what I'm feeling right now. The shock of having someone you love vanish from your life without warning." "There are legal implications," Patrick cautioned. "Your assets, your job, your credit history, all of it will be affected." "I've thought about that. I have savings she doesn't know about. I can start over." "What about your family, friends?" "My parents are gone. Sophia and Carlos are the only ones who matter, and they'll know where I am." Patrick nodded slowly. "Then let's make a plan," he said, pulling out a legal pad. "But first, we need someone to witness her behavior firsthand, someone credible." I smiled grimly. "I know just the person. My old college roommate, Detective Morgan." A week later, everything was in place. Detective Morgan had documented Elena and Jake's affair with professional thoroughness. Patrick had prepared all my paperwork. My most important possessions were in storage, and a new identity awaited me in Colorado. I returned home early, knowing Elena and Jake would be there. They'd grown careless, thinking I was oblivious. Sure enough, his car was in our driveway. I entered quietly through the garage. Carlos, Sophia, and Detective Morgan waited nearby as planned. I found them in the kitchen, laughing over wine. They froze when they saw me. "Mateo, you're home early," Elena gasped, jumping away from Jake. "Clearly," I said calmly. "Don't let me interrupt your... What is this? A work meeting?" We were just discussing the Henderson account," Jake stammered, reaching for his jacket. "In our kitchen? With our wedding gift wine? How thoughtful of you to help my wife with work so... thoroughly?" Elena's face paled. "Mateo, it's not what it looks like, isn't it? Because it looks like you've been sleeping with your boss for at least 8 months. What? That's ridiculous. Jake and I are colleagues." "Save it, Elena," I interrupted as the others entered behind me. "You know Detective Morgan, right? From our wedding? He's been documenting your afternoon delight sessions." Morgan nodded professionally. "Mrs. Alvarez, Mr. Hamilton." "You had me followed?" Elena's shock turned to anger. "How dare you invade my privacy?" "Privacy?" I laughed harshly. "That's rich coming from the woman who invaded our marriage with this clown." Jake stepped forward. "Look, man, this situation got complicated. Elena and I developed feelings." "Shut up," I snapped. "I'm not interested in your feelings. I'm here to tell you both that I know everything." "What exactly do you think you know?" Jake challenged, finding some courage. "That you've been sleeping with my wife since last summer. That you meet at your apartment twice a week. That you've been calling and texting each other constantly." "You checked my phone records?" Elena gasped. "I did what was necessary to uncover the truth," I replied coldly. "You had no right. And you had no right to betray our vows, but here we are." "Mateo, please." Elena's voice cracked, tears forming. "We can fix this. I made a horrible mistake. 8 months isn't a mistake. It's a choice, made day after day. I love you, not him. I was confused, unhappy. And instead of talking to me, you jumped into bed with Jake. Classy." "Please," she begged, reaching for my hand. "Give me another chance. I'll do anything." I pulled away sharply. "Don't touch me, ever again." "You can't just throw away 7 years of marriage," she cried. "I didn't, you did." Carlos cleared his throat. "Mateo, maybe we should all calm down." "I am calm," I replied. "Calmer than I've been in months." Elena lunged forward, grabbing my shirt. "Look at me, I'm sorry, I made a terrible mistake." "Remove your hands," I said coldly. "Not until you talk to me, really talk to me." When I stepped back, she slapped me hard across the face. "Elena!" Sophia gasped. "There it is," Detective Morgan murmured, recording everything. "You hit me." I said quietly, touching my cheek. Perfect. Elena's eyes widened with horror at what she'd done. I didn't mean, I'm sorry. Save it for the judge, I replied, walking toward the door. We're done here. Where are you going? She screamed, following me. You can't leave me. I turned back one last time. Watch me. 5 years passed. Colorado became home. My engineering firm thrived. I dated occasionally, but kept to myself mostly. The divorce was finalized in absentia, with Elena getting nothing beyond what the law required. My old life felt like someone else's memory, until Detective Morgan called. She found you, he said without preamble. Elena, she hired a private investigator. How? My identity change was thorough. Your mother's obituary last month. You were listed as a surviving son. I cursed silently. Is she coming here? Already on her way. Flight lands tomorrow. I thanked him and called Patrick immediately. You have nothing to worry about legally, he assured me. The restraining order is still valid. One call and she'll be arrested. I don't want her arrested. I want her to see exactly what she lost. The next day, I invited Carlos and Sophia, who had remained in my life, to my office. Elena arrived precisely at noon, as Morgan had predicted. Can I help you? My receptionist asked. I'm here to see Mateo Alvarez, Elena replied, looking older but still beautiful. That's not possible without an appointment, I said, emerging from my office. She turned, eyes wide. Mateo. Miss Ramirez, actually. You reverted to your maiden name after the divorce, I believe. 5 years without a word, she whispered. Do you know what that did to me? Probably similar to what finding you with Jake did to me. I deserved that, she admitted. But to disappear completely. You seemed perfectly happy with your choices until I found out. Then suddenly it was a mistake? It was. The biggest of my life, her voice cracked. I've spent 5 years trying to find you, to make things right. There's nothing to make right. Our marriage is over. We could start again, she pleaded. I never stopped loving you. Carlos stepped forward. Elena, you should know Mateo has built a new life here. A life that doesn't include you, Sophia added. Please, Elena begged. Just hear me out. Dinner, coffee, anything. Why would I do that? I asked. Because despite everything, we were good together once, don't you remember? I remember everything, I replied, including how easily you betrayed me. People change, Mateo. I've changed. So have I. The man who would have forgiven you no longer exists. You don't mean that, she whispered. I've never meant anything more. My assistant appeared at my office door. Mr. Alvarez, your 2 o'clock is here. Thank you, Lisa. I turned back to Elena. This conversation is over. Jake and I ended things right after you left, she blurted desperately. I realized what I'd thrown away. That's supposed to make me feel better? That you discarded him too when he no longer served your purpose? No, I just want you to know I've spent every day regretting what I did to us. There is no us anymore, Elena. That died in our kitchen 5 years ago. I'm staying in town, she said desperately. At the Mountain View Hotel, room 412. Please just think about it. There's nothing to think about. Goodbye, Elena. After she left, Carlos gave me a searching look. You okay? Better than okay, I replied truthfully. Seeing her now, I feel nothing. That's the revenge she never anticipated, that I would completely move on. She seemed genuinely sorry, Sophia observed. 5 years too late, I shrugged. Her regret isn't my problem anymore. You never told us what happened with her and Jake, Carlos said. Because it doesn't matter, I replied. Whether they stayed together or broke up the next day, it's irrelevant to me now. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you'd confronted her differently? Sophia asked. I shook my head firmly. No, some betrayals can't be forgiven, only left behind. You're a different man now, Carlos noted. Stronger. I had to be, I said simply. She taught me the hard way that the only person I can truly count on is myself. That evening, I instructed my attorney to send Elena formal notice that any further contact would violate the restraining order, attaching documentation of her abuse from our final confrontation. 2 days later, Detective Morgan called again. She's gone. Flew out this morning. Good. She left you a letter at the hotel. Want me to bring it by? I considered this. No, whatever she needed to say, the time for that is past. Morgan chuckled. That's cold, my friend. No, I corrected him. Cold would be disappearing without warning from someone's life. What I did was simply reclaim mine. Later, celebrating with Carlos and Sophia, I realized the true victory wasn't in Elena's pain or regret. It was in my freedom from it. To new beginnings, Carlos toasted. And to endings that should have happened sooner, I added. Have you ever had to completely reinvent yourself after betrayal? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of justice served cold.